What inspired you to go back there and take another look for yourself?
I thought it was time to do an update and see what was happening. And so I started out, quite frankly, Adam, with a simple phone call to the Lottery Commission. And for 2 days, we couldn't get an answer from anybody about anything. So I thought I'll go out and check it out. And so I went to Winner's Corner, and the courier service is no longer in business any longer since we went there the first time. And the commission, as you know, banned all courier services, something they should have never allowed to begin with, or banned them a long time ago. And I walked in the store, and it's the same store with the same games. And I ran my finger across the boxes, lots of dust. No one's been in there. They had one terminal, and there's nobody coming in there and buying tickets. And so I wanted to go in the back room. And once again, Jack Pocket, courier service, which is owned by DraftKings, the sports betting service, once again, they wouldn't allow me back there. They'll allow an inspector from the commission back there, but not the lieutenant governor. I could have maybe made a little issue of that, but I didn't. I just said, okay. And it's like, what's wrong with you people? You keep hiding the ball. When the lieutenant governor or the governor or the attorney general of the state of Texas comes and says, we'd like to inspect the equipment that the taxpayers own, you should open the door. Because if it was someone from the Lottery Commission with an inspector badge, they would do that. But instead, they want to hide the ball. So it just makes them look bad. And by the way, it turns out they should not have had any machines back there. I finally got a hold of someone at the commission. Turns out they had 5 machines. So I sent the Lottery Commission over there that day to pick them up.
They had 5 machines there in the back?
Yeah, they had 5 machines. And remember the guy that I interviewed on camera?
Are all the machines gone in the back?
Yes.
I say, any machines back there? No. Well, there were. First of all, the Lottery Commission, why did they pick them all up the first time? Because they had like 30 or 40. Did they not have room in the Volkswagen? I don't know, but they could have gone back to pick them back up. And then why did they say that they didn't have any?
There's a Lottery Commission meeting tomorrow. Obviously, they're currently without an executive director. They're trying to codify these rules to ban couriers. How intently are you paying attention?
Quite a bit, wouldn't you say? I've done 2 videos. I've called for the banning of the couriers. I've called for a Texas Ranger investigation. And we're currently, I think, looking for the mysterious Gary Greer who disappeared. Can't find him anywhere. The one who put all this courier service into action, and eventually that led to someone stealing, in my view, $95 million from the good people of Texas who play the lottery when he allowed 26 million tickets to be purchased by one man. Can you imagine that, Adam? Look, if you were on the Lottery Commission, if you work for the lottery, if any of your viewers watching right now, if someone came in and said, we have someone who wants to buy 26 million $1 tickets 72 hours before the $95 million jackpot, wouldn't that make you at least suspicious? And wouldn't it really make you say, no, we're not doing that? They let it happen. The people were fleeced. The money was stolen, bigger than all the train robberies in the history of the Wild West, $95 million. Jesse James couldn't have done any better. Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid couldn't have had a bigger win. And they pretended like it didn't happen and it was okay. So yes, I'm paying a lot of attention.
Yeah, speaking of former Director Grief, we've heard things about not being able to find him. What has that process been like?
I don't know. I can just tell you that the Texas Rangers usually find their man. But, he could be living anywhere on the planet. Who knows where he is? But isn't it interesting? The guy puts the courier service together. Someone, makes off with 95 million after buying 26 million tickets that he allowed, and now we can't find him. It would make a great series on Netflix, I think.
So when the House sent the budget over back to y'all, they had zeroed out the Texas Lottery Commission.
Yes.
They even doubled down voting to instruct the conferees to fight for that provision. Where do you see the future of the Texas Lottery right now?
I would say it's on life support. I don't know that we'll have the Texas Ranger investigation report back before the end of session. That's only 5 or 6 weeks away. But we're going to have to make a decision on behalf of the people. Now, look, folks like to play the lottery. They like their scratch-off ticket games. They know they don't have a big chance of winning, but they like to play and they like to hope. And they play, $5, $10 a week, and they hope to hit a bigger prize. We don't want to take the enjoyment away from people that want to do that, but we have to be sure that the people aren't playing a rigged game. And so far, based on what we've seen, there have been some games for big jackpots that were rigged. So I don't want people losing their hard-earned money on a game they can't win or have a little chance to win because someone's figured out a way to beat them out of it. I also don't know if there isn't a criminal element laundering money through the Lottery Commission. That may well be a part of this also. Let me say this to you, Adam. Give you a little news here. If they stay, if we have a lottery game, we need to close down the Lottery Commission and turn it over to our Department of Texas Licensing, TDLR. We need to close down the commission, get it over there, pass a bill, which we have already, but we're going to do more to really lock down all the rules and the guardrails and make it right. But under the current condition, the Lottery Commission needs to go away, and we need to have a different government agency with serious people who are going to ensure that this never, ever, ever happens again. When you go to the office and no one's there, they kind of like, what's the point? There was a very sweet lady who was there, but doing her job, but everybody was gone.
This story has gained a lot of national attention now. In the last couple of weeks, it's been in the Times, it's been in the Wall Street Journal. How do you think this is painting Texas on a national stage?
I think it paints a picture that, at least speaking for me, the Senate, that we're not going to tolerate bad actors within the Lottery Commission. If there were, again, the investigation, I'm not accusing anyone of doing anything criminal at this point, but I do find it interesting that the guy who set it all up, we can't find after $95 million jackpot was hit, that he allowed to be played that way. I think it says that somebody pulled off a great heist. I mean, the heist is so big, Adam, it's something you'd make a movie about, really, of how this was put together. And I read the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal stories, good reporting, but they did leave out the element of the cooperation between the Lottery Commission and those who won the money. And they also, I think, left out the element of potential criminal activity. Again, we'll find out if there was any, but this was not just a mistake. This wasn't a bunch of lucky guys who played a number. They had to have known, Adam, put these pieces together. They had to have known in advance when they called 72 hours before the drawing to buy 26 million tickets, $1 tickets, that no one had ever done before, that someone was going to say, okay. Someone was going to say, okay. And someone was going to have a plan to get all those machines out. That's not an accident. That's a conspiracy. And the money laundering, it's not always easy to launder money if you're a criminal, but one of the easiest ways you could do it is buy $10 million worth of tickets every week, the $1 scratch-offs, and you're only going to get 5 or 6 back, but you just got $5 or $6 million of clean money and you lost 4, and maybe you actually hit a jackpot, or you hit a jackpot, let me say that better. So this could be, there are 19 states that have courier services, I believe, now down to 18 since we got rid of them. This may be a money laundering scandal across the country of criminal elements. Could be cartels, it could be terrorist organizations, could be anyone buying lottery tickets to clean money that is from ill-gotten gains. We don't know yet.